Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will be talking about that instrument in the aircraft which measures the forward speed of the aircraft. The name of the instrument is known as the Airspeed Indicator, or in short we call it as a ASI. At all times when we are in the room or anywhere we are subjected to a pressure which is known as the static pressure. The static pressure is the pressure exerted by the column of air which is above us. So irrespective of where you are, you will always be subjected to this pressure, which is because of the column of air which is above you. So the prevailing atmospheric pressure of an undisturbed airflow is what we call it as a static pressure. And another type of pressure what we experience is whenever we start moving. Okay, for example, you are sitting behind your dad's scooter or bike. Once the bike starts moving, you will feel the pressure of the air on your face or on your hand and your body parts. Okay, that pressure, what you feel, okay, because of the motion of the aircraft, is what we call the dynamic pressure. So the dynamic pressure is the additional pressure caused due to the aircraft's forward motion. So now the pressure what we actually feel on your face is therefore will be the sum of the static pressure which was already existing and the dynamic pressure which is there because of the motion of the aircraft. So therefore that pressure is what we call it as the Pitot pressure, the pressure produced on the surface when a flowing fluid is brought to a complete rest. So therefore this Pitot pressure P will be equal to the dynamic pressure plus the static pressure. So now the aim of fundamental behind this instrument, that is airspeed indicator, is to find out that portion of the pressure which is there because of the motion of the aircraft. That pressure which is there because of the motion of the aircraft is what we call it as a dynamic pressure, as we discussed. So therefore the dynamic pressure will be the Pitot pressure, that is the sum total of dynamic plus the static, and the static pressure which was already existing. So therefore the dynamic pressure is equal to Pitot pressure minus the static pressure. This is the aim, or this is the fundamental behind this particular instrument, that is airspeed indicator. So now let me demonstrate to you that this particular balloon which is tied on this straw is experiencing static pressure, right? So the ball, the static pressure outside and the static pressure inside are the same. So therefore this balloon is not inflating or it is not deflating. Let us assume that I started moving, so I will experience some additional pressure, that is because of the motion of the aircraft. So that pressure I'm going to simulate it by blowing it. As the forward motion of the aircraft increases, the pressure, that is the dynamic pressure, is going to increase. So therefore if the dynamic pressure is increasing, the balloon starts inflating. I start inflating the balloon. So whenever this balloon is expanding, when it is expanding, I am feeding the pressure which is somewhat like the Pitot pressure, which is a static plus the dynamic. When it is expanding against the static pressure which is already existing in the atmosphere. So now automatically when I feed a balloon, in this balloon, okay, the static pressure was already existing, the static pressure was already existing inside. The additional pressure which is there because of my Pitot pressure is now subjected to the static pressure while expanding, so it automatically fulfills the formula, that is the dynamic pressure is equal to Pitot pressure minus the static pressure. Now in this particular balloon, if somehow I connect it to a kind of a lever, this balloon is attached to a kind of lever. Whenever it expands, this lever is going to expand, move like this. Whenever it contracts, it will move like this. Whenever it expands, it will move like this. So thereby, if I put a gear on top of it and make it drive a needle, that particular needle will show the airspeed. So this is the working principle of a ASI or the airspeed indicator. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions or any queries, you can directly put it onto the comment. If you're watching it for the first time, kindly subscribe, like and share it to your friends so that they also can benefit from this class. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.